everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to give you another great workout you can do in your home. What we're going to need today is a tube with a handle, or you can use bands as well. We're going to use a chair and a couple sets of dumbbells, and that is it for today. So grab those a little bit heavier on one dumbbell. We're going to use one dumbbell for one exercise and then a set of dumbbells for some biceps. So go ahead and grab those and make sure you come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go. Okay, we are going to start with a one-arm row bow and arrow pull. So this is a little bit different way to do your bow and to do your row. So I have my tube set up here about chest height or hip height, whatever works there. I'm going to spread my feet apart and pull back like an arrow. So we're going to do all one side to begin with. So we're opening up and then driving your elbow towards the other side of the room. Really keeping those shoulders down and thinking about using your back muscles. So we're using your biceps, your shoulders, and your back here to pull that band. And we're making it a dynamic movement by moving our whole body back. So not really a lunge, but just a big step backwards. One more, and 10. Good. Now we're going to do the other side. 1. So I want you to move your feet each time. Bring them back together. Pull that band back. We're not really twisting. We're just opening up. 7. Keep breathing, keeping your shoulder down. 9. And 10. Good. Okay. Now we're going to use that chair. We're going to do sit to stand. But what I would like to do is add a little bit of a shoulder press or an overhead press as you stand up. So this does two things. First of all, you're going to not be able to use your hands in order to do the sit to stand. So if that is something that you know that you can't do, don't worry about the overhead press. So use your hands and take out the overhead press. I'm going to use one dumbbell. You could also use a kettlebell. You could use a medicine ball, whatever you happen to have at home, or a gallon jug of water. So sit up on the edge of that chair. We're going to stand up, press overhead. Nice and slowly. 2. So we're making this, it's already a full body movement, and we're adding some arms, some shoulders here. Remember to keep your tummy nice and tight when you press that weight overhead so that you don't get any back pain. If this is too much for you, you could just hold it here too. Add a little bit of extra weight. Keep breathing. Also, if you're having any shoulder pain with this, you could limit the range of motion. You could just hold the weight, or you could just press it just to there, depending on how your shoulders are feeling with this. Let's do one more. All right, good. Set that weight down with good form, and we'll move on. Okay, now we're gonna grab a whole set of dumbbells. I grabbed a little bit lighter set because I had a heavier one for that overhead press. So grab 2 dumbbells, and we're going to do some bicep curls. We'll add a little bit of balance challenge here. So you can either stand on one foot, you can stand in a tandem stance. Always make sure that all of the equipment is out of your way. I'll do a tandem stance here. We're going to do bicep curls and then slow eccentric, or slow on the way back down. So we'll think 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now importantly, let those arms go all the way straight at the bottom of this bicep curl. 5, 4, 5. It's common for people to want to kind of stop here and then pull it back up. So really focus on letting those elbows go all the way straight. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, you can keep these dumbbells here with your palms facing forward, or you can turn this way too. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes people may have a little bit of elbow pain or shoulder pain with one direction or the other. So just find what works for you. If neither hurts, you could even do 5 one way and 5 the other direction. Or do one set this way and then one set this way. It doesn't matter. It works the head of your biceps a little bit differently, works the muscle belly a little bit differently, but for all intents and purposes, it does not really matter. I think we've got one more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. We'll be finished with those, so set them down with good form. And now we're going to lower to the floor. Bring my camera down here. And we're going to do a side plank. So, remember, I don't think we've done this one for a little while. You can do it with your knees bent. You can do it on your elbow. You can do it on your hand. If this hurts your wrist, then use your elbow. That's okay. That's a good way to do it. I'm going to show you how you can ease into this. Now, you want your shoulders directly but over your elbow. So your elbow should be directly under that shoulder there. And then you want to be open to the side, open to the wall. So not here, not closed up. You want your shoulders stacked, your hips stacked, and your knees stacked. Now, to begin with, you can come up like this, or if you're on your hand, you can come up like this. You can put that top foot out. Whatever way that you know that you can do this, we're going to do this for 30 seconds. If you would like to try a little bit deeper, you can put one foot in front of the other and come up into the side plank like this. Regardless, you want your elbow or your hand directly beneath your shoulder here, stacked, stacked. You can have your feet stacked so you're all in just one line. And then if this is starting to feel like too much, you can put one knee down for the remainder of the time. Keep everything stacked. Try not to roll forward here. And we'll switch sides. Okay, so I'm going to do it on my elbow this time, just to show you a little bit differently. So you remember, you can go up onto your knees. You can put one foot out forward. We're starting 30 seconds now, so wherever you are, if you want to try with your feet out straight, put your front foot in front, or you can stack your feet. That's a little bit more difficult. You have more leverage if you put your front foot in front. Remember, you can drop that bottom knee. Really working on keeping open here. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked. Try not to do this. And rest. Good. Side plank. So we're working those obliques, working your shoulders. And if it's too much, remember, if it's too much on your wrist, do your elbow. But you can try it different ways too. So the next time you go through this, if you want to try it up on your hand, just try it different ways and find what works for you, but is still challenging. Okay. Now we're going to do a stand up. So make sure you stand up slowly and that you're not getting lightheaded. And we're going to do a hip stabilization. So we're going to I want you to stand either like with the back of a chair or at a kitchen counter, somewhere for support. I'm gonna raise that up a little more. Okay. We're going to do a hip abduction / extension. So we're going to do, so this would be abduction, straight to the side. Extension would be straight to the back. We're going to do a little bit of a diagonal. So I'm going to bring it back and to the side. So kind of out to the corner of the room if you're standing square in the room. So stand where you can hang on to something. If you want to, you can do this as a balance exercise as well. But If you're having trouble balancing on one foot, then I want you to hang on to something so that we can really focus on this hip. So you're standing on one leg. That leg is getting some hip stabilization just by having to stand on one foot. This one, you're really reaching out with your heel kind of towards the corner of the room. Also, you want to make sure you are staying with your hips stable here. So if you kind of feel one hip, the hip you're standing on, jutting out to the side, hang on to something, really focus on keeping that strong and square. All right, now we're gonna switch sides. So, refresh my screen here. So if you're standing square with the room, you're gonna be going out kind of to the corner of the room, really squeezing under your glute here. This one's probably going to feel it since you just had to stand on that one for a while. We're gonna do 15. 9, 10. Keeping those hips stable, shoulders back, chin tucked, and 10. All right, good. One more, we're gonna lower back down to the ground, and we're going to do bridges. So no equipment needed for this one. We're going to lie down with your feet bent, or your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor, hands flat on the floor. We're gonna work on just plain bridges with no ball or anything. Remember, I want you to flatten your back to the floor, squeeze your glutes, and lift your hips. Now, I want you to hold this for a good 5 seconds. You're pushing your weight through your heels and your feet, and then come down. Readjust, flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Breathe, and rest. Flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Keep breathing. Good. That was 3, I think. Up. Weight is in your heels here. And relax. Good. All right. Remember, flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. If you're really squeezing those glutes right here, your glutes should be getting tired, especially since we just did that hip abduction extension kind of combo. Good. 3 more. Weight in your heels. Don't put it through your toes here, right in your heels. Your hamstrings might be feeling this a little bit too, but I really want you to focus on your glute activity here. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. 1 more. Flatten that back, engage your core, squeeze your glutes, and lift. 3, 4, 5. All right, good. Now if you want to stretch those out, you can pull your knees into your chest. Give those a good stretch, give your back a good stretch. All right, good. Okay, so go through those 1 to 2 more times. And like I always say, you can do some cardio in between, get your heart rate up. These aren't necessarily really big heart rate exercises, which is okay. So there's a couple stabilization things in here. So if you want to get your heart rate up by doing, 5 to 10 minutes of cardio, come back and do this again. Go through it 2 or 3 times total, and then follow with some good stretches at the end. All right. We will see you next time. Keep moving, everyone. And as always, please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.